But good morning, guys. We'll start a little bit early just because I wanted to take a minute and just break down the thought process behind this trade. I'm not still in it, obviously, but just to show you guys everything. So essentially, main thing was this SMT with ES. So you can see that as of this moment, there was SMT here with NASDAQ. We had NQ putting in a lower high. Meanwhile, ES was putting in a higher high. So I like that. Saw this displacement down and wanted to take a trade off of this order block inside of OTE. Did that. I'll turn on executions so you guys can see. So this was the sell right here. Had the sell limit set right at OTE. Was sending it right as this candle was pulling up, and yeah, it was very, very fast, very quick. And then yeah, this candle right here, when it came back, got stopped out at break even. So all good. Was a little bit worried that it was just going to come back into OT and then sell off again. So that was what my comment in the Discord was about, by the way, Jimmy. So that was just bad timing because you had sent your message that you just got in, and then I sent it, and then I was like, oh shit, he probably thinks I'm talking about him. Definitely wasn't doing that. But anyway, so just wanted to remove risk simply because as price sold off very quickly, we were displacing through this fair value gap, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, if we're going to disrespect this fair value gap, I'm going to want to see this held as, resistance then, or an inversion gap. So one of two scenarios: one, either it's gonna do that and just sell off and don't have to worry about it. Two, if it does come back, wick up, and then respect this gap, I probably don't want to be in the trade anymore anyway, because there's a decent probability that it's just going to continue higher. So that was my thought process behind when I went stop to break even. And obviously it panned out. A little scary at first because it came in, went back in profit, but ultimately this gap just continued to hold. And now we see price pushing up to new highs, and there's no longer this SMT present. So that was the thought process behind that. It was, kind of, it was lighter risk anyway. I only just did one contract, didn't even take it on MetaTrader. It was too quick to take it anyway. I was just sending it out, but it's before news. We have news coming obviously in 4 minutes. The last thing for the day, pending home sales, medium impact, nothing crazy, but obviously we usually like to wait for these news events. But it felt like this was a decent setup. As of lately, over the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of setups that go, away without us, especially, during the opening range or, shortly after opening bell. So just wanted to make sure that if there wasn't a good opportunity that we didn't miss out, because it is definitely frustrating when the market moves all day in one direction, and it's like the only time you really could have had a good entry was, during market open, which has kind of been the behavior lately. But yeah, so just to recap, obviously yesterday we took that trade on oil. It did hit that final take profit, and then it also went for this external buy side level, which we had marked out from the hourly time frame from earlier. It must have been last week we had this marked out. But yeah, we just took that out, waiting to see if this gives any sort of displacement down now. Here on the 4 hour for oil, I really like this high. This is a significant high from last Monday London session. So we'll see what that brings. Nothing as of right this second. And then NQ and these indices, obviously we're still pushing up. We had this daily candle yesterday that just soared, and it took out this previous weekly high on all these indices, all three, and we really never got any sort of reaction back down. So it is looking a little bit more bullish now. It's looking like there's still more buy side objectives for us to go meet. And yeah, if you were looking at NQ here on this daily time frame, I think your eyes have to go to this high. Buy side liquidity right there. Jump up to the 4 hour and see if there's anything on this time frame. Pretty much the same exact high right there. This is the Friday, August 4th AM session high, New York AM session high for NQ. So it is looking like that probably is going to end up being our next draw on liquidity. So we'll see here if we can get a decent setup here. We got news coming in a little over 60 seconds. And then ES, let's go take a peek what we got going on over here. So here's the hourly time frame. We got, what is this up here? 4 hour. I think this is a weekly. Yes. A little weekly volume, or not volume imbalance, fair value gap on ES up here. Come on. Anyway, we'll just mark this high right here. Drop down to the 4 hour. Yeah. We do have this fair value gap, you know, here on the 4 hour that does line up here with the structure. I would have liked to have seen it drop down into there, ideally, but we're getting that market structure shift now back up. We'll see if this holds. I'm not really sold on it just yet. The reason why is simply because we had ADP non-farm event pre-market. Hang on one second. Is this too long? That's better. ADP pre-market non-farm event. So if you look at that 15-minute candle of the news release, so 7:15 to 7:30, boom, we had this move up. We just took that high out. So we just took the, you know, the high of that news event. So I'm not, you know, ready to just go gun-ho on longs just yet, because I do want to see if this does end up just displacing back down after taking that out. But if not, which it's not looking like it's doing that right now, then I would say, yeah, we just maintain bullishness. What I would say, you know, looking at E-mini NASDAQ, I guess I would like to see price whenever this does put in a high and come back. What I would like to see would be price comes to, you know, equilibrium at least, and then lining up with this structure would be nice. Get this breaker. You got a high here, low, higher high. So nice breaker here on NQ. And then, yeah, we'll look to target higher highs. But, yeah, the news came out bullish as well for indices today. So we had the news come out bullish yesterday, bullish today. This pending home sales just came out bearish. Still pushing higher. It's just medium impact, though. So in my mind, what I'm anticipating right now here on ES would be that order block. These two consecutive up close candles here on the 2-minute. Would like to see price create a fair value gap over top of that. You'd be looking at a 5-handle stop loss. Like what I'm seeing, guys, so far. Here's what I'll say. I would be willing to get short inside this fair value gap up here on the 1-minute. Stop above the high if price comes back before this 2-minute candle closes. Otherwise, I'm going to want to get short 2-minute overlapping this breaker or order block, whatever you want to call it. This 2-minute candle closes in a minute and a half. So for right now, I'm going to create a limit order. Whoa. Sell limit. Yep. Fantastic. And if this 2-minute candle closes, leaving this gap open, I will move it down. I'm going to move my entry down. Yeah, this is the formation I wanted to see. If we do get short, I wanted to see something really nice like this. Beautiful market structure shift, displacement, fair value gaps overlapping. That'll be a high probability setup to where even if price does still go higher the rest of the day, this should yield us a good enough move to get either a TP1 or be risk free. So that's what I would anticipate. It looks like we will get this. This is not my final take profit, by the way. This is just there to set the limit order up. But all right, great. So I'm gonna move this down. Full 5-handle stop loss. Entry inside fair value gap in alignment with order block. That would go down here. Yeah, I would target these lows. Yeah, as of right now, I don't really see a different spot I'd like to move an entry to. If anything, if price shifts kind of bearish the rest of the day, you'd wait to see price displace through this low, come back, and then maybe you could find something off of this low once you scale into a smaller time frame. But in reality, once you get through this low, get down into here, this is the beginning of that 4-hour structure. that's when you could justify getting long into your short positions. But that's why I said, like, on the 1 hour, we were watching it, and I was like, I could flip on a dime because we had 46 minutes left. So notice how, like, different everything feels and looks now. So, like, when you're intraday trading like this, you kind of want to look at what the hourly and the higher time frames have already done. Where have they been? What are they doing? Once you get into this price action here on the intraday stuff, like, I mean, you got to wait for hourly candle closures to really figure out what we're doing. And you got to wait for a couple hours for an hourly fair value gap to form. You know, if you're not already in one or reaching for one. Yeah, no disrespect or no respect shown to this order block at all. You can see it just ripped right through fair value gap, didn't slow it down, took out the low. So to me, this is pretty clear disrespect of bullish PD arrays. So that's telling me we're bearish. And it is kind of disheartening that people take advantage of that. But yeah, so yeah, guys, I'm in. Crazy. I'm glad we got back up here. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it ride out. To me, a lot of confluence in this trade. Order block, fair value gap. I really like this draw in these stacked relative equal lows. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'm willing to live with the result. If I could only trade one time frame, probably would be probably 15-minute. There's 5 handles, guys, if you're interested. So yeah, obviously we're wanting to see this order block get disrespected. You know, if we are bullish, what we would expect would be that this down close price action would support price up. Maybe that's your justification for taking a TP here and or even going risk-free. In this specific scenario today, I'm feeling a little ballsy, okay? And I'm feeling like the draw's here. So therefore, I'm going to leave risk on. We're going to ride the lightning. And if I am wrong, I will know why. Do with that information what you wish. Oh, he definitely uses the 69-minute chart for... He just... Yeah. That's funny. Let's see what we look like. Nice, looks fucked. Get it? Badumts. I will remove risk. TP1. I want to get back in discount.